Hey guys, this is Fergal from Poker VIP. Welcome back to part 2 of our cash game series over on Guts Poker. So continuing on directly from part 1, we are playing 4 tables of 50 NL. We are playing 3 anonymous tables, we're playing 1 regular table. Straight into the action here with the ace-2. It's a bit of a tricky spot here. I mean, I don't think we're ever good here, but I just don't envision we get anywhere close to the right amount of folds here if we were to bluff this hand. I mean, occasionally he has like 6-7 and stuff like that. Oh, well, we are ahead. Nice, we'll take it. Kind of annoying that I can't go back and see what he has there. It's possibly called with some kind of ace-high type hands as well. Because we did bet that flop. And then we just checked on the deuce turn. So very, very possible that we got called by like kind of ace-queen type hands. We open up the queens. We're not thrilled about the flop. We're going to start this off with a check back. We are not thrilled about the turn. We're going to start this off with a check back. The river we are fairly indifferent towards. We're going to bet small for value here and hope a 10 calls. But when he checks us 3 times, it's kind of hard for us not to have the best hand. And while it's definitely on the thinner side, we've identified, if anyone was watching part 1, we've identified this player as a fairly sort of kind of loosey-goosey type player, so it's entirely possible he just shows up with like kind of 10x and stuff there and calls it down. It's also, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, against this player profile, it's also possible he has some marginal ace-x as well, so maybe that's a little too thin, but I mean, it can't ever be that bad against this specific player profile. So the kind of player profile I'm talking about is just quite a loose and quite a passive player, and just sort of is happy to kind of throw his chips in, but he's not really aggressive in his own right. So he's gonna, if you're gonna be making money off him, you're gonna be the one pushing the bullet, pushing the envelope. Okay, so pocket 8s over on the top right table. We get a walk. Not the end of the world. We wouldn't have minded a little bit of action though, obviously. 7 jack, nothing we're going to be able to do here. We're just going to let this go. Actually, that's not true. If it was folded to us, we probably would have gone for the steal, but when the button opens, we are going to have to fold. 10-8, if it's folded to us, we'll open, but again, any open before us, we let go. And we're going to check here and flop top 2, because that is how we do things. We're going to start this off. Oh, interesting. I'm just going to go ahead and raise myself right now. We're going to continue betting here. Deuce kind of stinks. The deuce kind of stinks. I mean, we still beat like ace-6 and stuff like that. 4-5, stuff with like pairs and gut shots, that kind of thing. I think we're just going to check this one though. That's annoying as hell. Obviously the 2 outer, and if any other card, like, I mean, literally every single card except for a king, or I suppose, sorry, not every card, any 3, any 4, and any king I shut down on, and any deuce obviously, but all other cards, like the vast majority of the deck, I will be just pushing the envelope there and going for another street of value, and I would imagine getting it. So never fun to get the 2 outer there in that sort of situation, but fortunately he didn't lead and make us pay for it. Although even if he had led there, I don't know if I would have called, to be perfectly honest. It's entirely possible I would have folded if he had led. Ace-8 suited, we'll bring it in for an open, and the king deuce suited, we're happy to fold. This guy just makes it 575 in a pot of 119. That's a interestingly sized overbet, and he gets a caller. Jesus, this is I mean, if this guy doesn't have a made flush already, it's pretty questionable. Like, what the hell is this guy doing this with? This is bizarre. I would love to have seen what that guy overbets there with. I'd love it, but unfortunately we cannot. This guy donks out on the ace-10-5, which is a bit strange. We're certainly calling with our top pair. We ain't folding just yet anyway. If he continues leading, we're in a pretty dicey spot right now. I mean, we have top pair, but like no real kicker to speak of. I guess we're going to give this one up and pick a better spot. I would not be surprised to see him taking that line with his sets and possibly kind of combo draw type hands, stuff like that, but I don't think we're going to be doing very well against his overall range, that's for damn sure. Ace 10 suited, easy open under the gun, and hopefully we flop something fun. We don't. We flop some backdoor potential. We have a backdoor Broadway, backdoor nut flush draw, and a backdoor wheel. All of them backdoors are good enough for an open for me. There are some decent cards where it doesn't prove that we can continue barreling on as well. I think that this, I should have noted him at the time, but I think that this is the same player here and here. So anyone who's watching part 1, we had a fun little spot where a guy just kind of overbet bombed the turn into us when we had the Stone Cold Nutter Butters on this table. And then on the same table over in the bottom left, we had a different, like, because it's anonymous, we're not 100% sure, but we believe it's the same guy because he chose like literally the exact same sizing. And we called him down with top pair and we were good. So I think that's the same dude. So he's going to be like, he's a bit of a wild player, a bit of a loose cannon, it would seem. So I think it's the same guy, but unfortunately I haven't noted it to be 100% sure. The anonymous tables, it does allow you to kind of take notes and to leave these pins. So I've just put I don't bother taking notes because obviously they disappear after the session. But I've just put this little red pin in. Red means that he's overly aggressive for my tagging system. So this player I know for a fact is overly aggressive, and I think this guy is the same player. Ace 8 suited, we're not really planning on doing too much here on a 4-way pot. I probably should have ISO'd here pre versus this dude. I don't know why I didn't. That was a mistake. I mean, we have top pair, no kicker. I guess we're just going to bet really small and hope we're giving the right price to hands like pocket 8s or any sort of random pair that they can have that isn't better than ours. But we don't get any action. I don't think anyone's going to bluff there, so again, I don't really think we miss out on too much value. And if someone has like a decent ace, there's a reasonable chance that they're going to be betting it. But I don't think we can just check call either. I don't think we can ever check fold a top pair, and I don't think we can check call either very comfortably. So I think just betting ourselves, betting small and trying to get paid by some kind of hero with a marginal pair is the best way to go. Ace 7 with the river ace is good, sir. Obviously my fault since I didn't punish him at all pre the river, but hey, I think checking down there with our marginal showdown value is absolutely fine, and obviously we would have been folding on that river with many overcards and 4 to a straight on the board as well. 10 king of the same suit, we will bring this in for an open. So we have our loose passive friend over here. Actually, I need to just give him the green tag just to make sure that we don't forget. I don't think we will though. The green tag is that kind of loose passive player. We're pretty much just firing one and done here. As I said, this kind of player, he tends to play quite fit or fold. It's entirely possible our 10 is the best when he bets, though I don't think it is. So we're just going to go ahead and fold. He might call with like a hand like ace 5 or something like that, but he never bets it though, so we're happy to just go ahead and make the exploitative check bold. It's not that exploitative, really. We're going to call here with the ace 10. We can definitely 3-bet this either. Both are completely viable options, and it's something I will do with varying degrees of frequency. Alright, we have top pair. Let's go for the call. This guy's just opened the button, I mean, so he can definitely have a reasonably wide range. We're just going to check call here versus most sizes. And hopefully he doesn't have a flush. He does not. I'd be very surprised if he shows us an ace there either. I would imagine he just he's weighted fairly heavily towards air, so checking to allow him the opportunity to bluff definitely seems best. King 9, we're just going to go ahead and fold. We're going for the steal here with the 7-8. We do get called. We flop a pair. We're just going to have a small little probe bet here. Partly for value. He can call with some sort of floats, and it kind of prevents him from betting larger and put us in annoying spots if we check to. Just going to check here and hopefully win, which we do. So we get a little bit, eke out a little bit of value on the flop with a small bet, but getting more than two streets of, or getting more than one street of value with, you know, second or third pair, whatever it was, is, you know, a little bit optimistic. Pocket nines, we're just going to flat here on the button. This guy seems like he knows what's up a little bit, so a bit more of the reggish type of player. We flop a set, which is always fun. We'll start this off with a check back. Hopefully Serpico just leads. No. It's a pretty good card now, because if we bet, we can rep diamonds and stuff like that as well, so we might get called a little bit lighter. We're going to go for a raise here. We definitely want to charge diamonds if they have them, and occasionally we just cooler someone with like pocket threes. But as I said, when we check back the flop, it's kind of hard for us to have like that many really nutted hands. Like a lot of people don't see people checking back those sorts of sets in those kind of situations, so maybe he just kind of convinces himself on making a play with like with just a flush draw or something like that. But unfortunately, he does not take the bait. But hey, that's also okay. So I think since we started this video, we're roughly break even, I think, but we are up from the first video. And I mentioned it in the first video as well. We've been playing a little bit off video as well prior to this, and we've had a pretty good day so far. Hopefully we will run up another few bob before the day is through though. We've got about 20 more minutes left to play. So ace 3, we are going to be bringing it in. I tend to open all suited ace X from all positions, especially the wheel based ones as well. Okay, looks like we're going to go multi-way to this board, and that is just a wonderful flop. Like, I mean, how many threes do we really have? It's just fantastic. No one's going to believe us. We've been flopping pretty damn well, it must be said. Throughout the videos, we've definitely been flopping pretty good. And how does no one have a jack there? Although it's kind of good that since the jack would have rolled off in the turn there, it's not too bad that we just take it down, because that would have been the nut worst card for us, obviously. Pocket 9 multi-way here with the 2 overs. We're just going to go ahead and fold. Nothing too fancy here. 8-5 off on the big blind. Hopefully we just get the walk. We don't. Telek bringing it in for an open. We go ahead and we let this one go. I was considering a call here. Obviously I'm not anymore when this guy makes it absolutely enormous. Brings it up to 950 to go. So this is the guy we saw overbet into us. Yeah, the time I actually saw his cards, he had like, it was like ace jack of hearts, where the turn I think gave him, he had a flush draw and a gut shot. Anyway, I can't remember the exact board. But he had a turn, and he had on the turn he had the gut shot and the flush draw. All right, let's check a Rooney here and see a free flop. We flop a good shot, and we also have the backdoor hearts. If this guy checks again, we're just going to go ahead and bet ourselves, maybe make it a euro to go. Kind of weird, because we've checked, like obviously we've got every sort of weird 2-pair combo and stuff like that. Kind of surprised to see this guy call, to be perfectly honest. I was definitely expecting this guy just to be going ahead and folding and letting us have it. Ace is a really bad card for us. I was the kind of thing I was considering double barreling, because you can have like hands like ace 3 and stuff like that, ace 3, ace 4, stuff like that. But that have ace high with the gut shot that obviously are never going to be folding here. He can also potentially just have some ace high floats. So I was gonna fire, I think, on that river on a lot of different cards, but that's just not one of them. Pocket 9s and ace queen, 2 reasonable hands. We're gonna flat here. This is something that I definitely mix up. So I will flat ace queen. It's something I've started doing more and more as well, is flatting rather than 3-betting, especially versus the earlier position opens. When this guy checks, we're not like, I would imagine this guy bets all of his king X, so I think we are going to bet our gut shot. We only really need to worry too much about this guy. Once this guy folds, I imagine this guy just check folds pretty frequently multi-way. Yeah. So we can check there as well and just kind of try to bink, but I think betting and looking to take it down is going to be better. Just going to protect our hand here a little bit with the third pot bet. We can occasionally get some value from worse, and it just prevents his random kind of king jacks and stuff like that from realizing their free equity. Easy 3-bet here with the AC, and not an ideal situation with the jacks. 4-way with a queen on board. Queens typically favour calling ranges a decent chunk, so we're not really going to be looking to invest any money here if we can avoid it. Okay, so we're afraid of pocket queens and pocket tens, and I guess probably pocket sevens. But there are also hands like, you know, ace queen, king jack, stuff like that can all pay us extra money, so we're going to fire. Even like ace king and stuff like that. Obviously we block all the ace queens and ace kings fairly heavily, but it still seems like we want to be betting there. What just happened there? I think that our jacks was the best hand there. Wow, that's kind of tilting. I think someone just called down there with a pair of eights. Unless I misread the board, I might go back and check that out of curiosity. But maybe I made a bad fold. But I mean, I don't like. Sorry, that's just being completely results orientated. I mean, you can't really say that. I think it's a fine fold. A 4-way with an overcard, and that is, especially when the overcard is a queen. It's I think it's a pretty trivial fold. But obviously the other player did not agree. He did not agree at all. At 3-8, we're going to definitely be happy just to take a free flop here, as long as the small blind allows us. She does. So we managed to take our almost nut low hand to heads up. And obviously we're not planning on doing anything swanky there with the 8 tray. Nor are we with this one. Jack queen. What do we want to do here? Okay, I'm just going to call. Definitely a reasonable spot to squeeze, but I mean, when you're good, you're good. We're going to go for the check raise here. Surely this is a board that will get bet with a high frequency, so we're just going to go ahead and look to play for stacks. When this guy does bet and he bets quite large, I think he's going to have a hand that he's going to be going with more often than not, so it's not ideal because he can potentially just be flatting his aces and kings here. But I mean, if this guy has a boat, we're losing all of the money. So we're just going to bet an amount here that allows us to jam a river. And hopefully he has ace king or is really overplaying like an ace queen type hand. We fade the snap call anyway, so I'm assuming we're good. So now we do want the call, definitely. I mean, we wanted the call anyway, but because obviously we're putting this bet in, as I said, because obviously if we're beat here, we always lose all of the money. If we have the best hand and we check, sometimes he checks back a hand that would have called. So we want to be jamming ourselves here just to prevent him from getting away cheaply when he would have paid us the wager. So we're all in, dealer. He's really thinking about it. Pretty sick of his slow rolling us here. Nope, he makes the fold. Juicy little pot though, we'll take it. McHorny is up to €82 somehow playing this ridiculous limping strategy. We're going to be ISOing here all day with the king jack. Every goddamn day. Make it 250 to go. Definitely not surprised at all to see him calling disastrous flop for us. We do have the backdoor king high flush draw, but it's not really good enough, is it? Alright, we have top pair. We're just going to start milking him a little bit, just make some small wagers. And we are... that's such a bad card. We were going to bet again. Oh, he has the king queen. Fair enough. You win, sir. You win. I don't think he's going to be folding. He doesn't strike me as the kind of player that's folding top pair there, so... maybe we should have just bet. Maybe we should just be betting 100% of flops. But just he has so many pocket pairs and limps that have made sets or have open enders or even kind of gut shots and stuff like that. He can have all 2 pairs. He can just have a lot of bad hands that, you know, we're just donating by c betting. We're being a little bit results orientated, saying that we should have potentially bet the flop. So yeah, I think in retro, after saying that, after I think about it, I think our check is perfectly fine. Okay, so King Jack on the 3-4-7. We're going to start this off with a check. And the board goes from bad to worse. We are going to defend here the Ace Jack facing the big blind 3-bet. We're just going to let that one go. Pretty good river here with the Jack. We will have a bet. We get called. We win. We are happy. So we built up some decent stacks. We've got 85-ish euro here. We've got 65 over here. And the other two were just a little bit above starting stack. I think we're up, I think, a total of maybe 15-ish euro for this part of the video, and we're up a little bit more for the first part as well. So a good session overall. As long as we don't lose any sort of substantial amount of money in the next 10 minutes, we're happy. The last few videos I've recorded, I think, have ended in losses, so that's never nice. So always nice to get a winning video series back under my belt. Obviously, we post video sessions, win, lose, or draw. Once we record them, they get posted regardless. Otherwise, it's very disingenuous to do anything different. This is a kind of annoying spot. We are going to call, but I'm not sure how happy I am about it. Hopefully he checks and we kind of just pick up some backdoor equity with our heart. This is the problem with the non-tables. We don't really have any sort of feel for what that player is like or what he's doing that with. It's entirely possible. Like, we haven't really been facing that many 3-bets or anything like that. It's entirely possible that ace-queen is just a fold in this pool. Going to defend the ace-9, pretty easy defend. We're not going to be folding this flop to a single bet anyway, unless that bet happens to be absolutely enormous. It's pretty enormous, but we are still going to call. That's a pretty good turn for us. That is a pretty good turn for us. Interesting that he continues bombing. I mean, we're blind versus blind here, so I'm not planning on folding. Some straights get there. I call, sir. And he has the straight. That is quite tilting. He only had the gut shot as well, which is even worse. That's kind of annoying. So that has decimated the profit from this video at least anyway, but we're still up for the overall series. That's kind of tilting. I don't know, it was a bit of a dicey call anyway, but if he's showing up there with kind of gut shots that he's double barreled, it's definitely entirely plausible that he is bombing the river anyway, so I think I'm okay with the call. It's just obviously tilting when the 4-outer gets there. Okay, we're going to start betting here now, since he can have flush draws picked up. He can have some queen X that might not want to fold, stuff like that. But alas, he just goes ahead and he lets it go. And king 4 on the button, we will make the fold. This guy just rips it in for 22 euro. We're going to let you have this one, sir. We're going to let you have this one. Really interested to know what he's doing that with. We haven't seen any of that kind of nonsense, but we'll just put a little mark on him. The yellow mark will be my reminder that he just open ripped for whatever stack he has in front. We'll see if he makes a habit of it. If he makes a habit of it, then we will adjust what our calling range will be against him. But it's very possible that he just picked up aces, didn't know what to do, and freaked out, and just went all in. Hopefully just cooler someone. Obviously it's not a good strategy no matter what you have. There are definitely more optimal lines that you can take with every single hand. Four, 7 under the, or not on the gun from mid position. We will be doing a fold. Oh wow, I mean that player just busted. I missed what happened. Kind of annoyed there. I really would have liked to know if it was some sort of nonsense or if it was a legitimate bust out. By legitimate, I mean, you know, a hand that makes actual sense. Kind of annoyed that he sat out. I mean, obviously, if he's just jamming 22 euro, he's obviously going to be on the weaker side. So, would have much rathered he sticks around. We will defend here. We're nice and deep here, and we have, I mean, the computer hand. Flop top pair. We are going to do a call, and we turn trips over on the bottom right table. And we're just going to triple barrel here for the values. We river 2 pair, which is pretty nice. I'm going to go on the larger side here because there is potential missed flushes that we can have. So he may look to call down a little bit lighter than normal. And we're going to go for a 3-bet here with Jack and the Jack. Okay, he calls. We're going to check this one back. Happy to check again. Gonna go for value here, try to get called by like 7s, 8s, 9s, those types of hands. Looks like we do. And King Jack here, we're going to flat on our button, we're going to defend our button. Could have used it as a 3-bet as well, but I think flatting. And I mean, I don't mind playing this kind of hand, especially in position multi-way, so if these guys do come along, that's absolutely fine by me. Okay, flop top pair, we have the backdoor flush draw. Pretty awful board here for our pocket 5s. The 7-8 suited, we just let go. This guy donks out, which is very peculiar. I mean, we're not folding our top pair. We're certainly not folding our top pair. Ugh. We pick up a flush draw. We're going to be putting more money in here, I think. I'm not thrilled about our current hand right now, though. Okay, interesting that this guy checks. Very peculiar spot. I think we're going to check this one. That's a really nice run out for us. Because Queen Jack is definitely possible, and obviously we do block it, but it's possible. But having the absolute nutter butters is always good. I wouldn't be shocked to see this guy show up Queen Jack. I don't think there's anything to do but just to rip it all in. I think if he's calling any raise, he's calling an all-in raise. So let's just go ahead and do that and hope we've coolered the crap out of him with Queen Jack. Or he overplays like a hand like Ace 10. Would also be possible. Be a weird hand to overbet them. He's thinking about it. He has a decision to make, ladies and gentlemen, and he goes ahead and he folds. It's a shame. Obviously, it would have been nice to pick up the extra 30 or whatever odd euro we had, but we'll take it. We're going to be wrapping up the video pretty soon now anyway. We have just about 2 more minutes left to go, so we won't be going for too much longer. As always, if you have any questions, queries, comments about any of the hands that we have played, make sure to leave them. I always do check the comments section on kind of YouTube, Poker VIP, that sort of thing. So if you have any, as I said, any questions, even just comments about any hands, anything like that, if you want to chat about strategy, make sure to leave them, and I will always endeavour to get back to them as soon as I see them. 10 Jack suited looks like we could potentially have an interesting little pot brewing. We flop a pretty weak top pair. We are going to fire, just a little protection bet. And the Ace King, we're going to go for the 3-bet. We take it down. So we're just going to go about a 3rd pot here. Just basically, this serves a couple of purposes. So it will weed out some players that have, like, you know, by accumulative players, if, like, you know, if we fill out a couple of king highs, a couple of ace highs, and a couple of kind of queen highs, stuff like that, we remove a lot of potential overcards that have a lot of equity. You know, queen combined all have a lot of equity against us, and we kind of help define people's ranges a little bit better. So I mean, now that we've gotten a couple of callers, like I'm pretty much just in check fold mode here. It's really hard for 10 Jack to be ahead here after getting that many callers. There are a couple of potential straight draws, like 5, 6, 7, stuff like that, that will stick around, but in general here, we're going to be in real rough shape, so yeah, we're just going to let this one go. Obviously, especially after this raise, I mean, it's pretty trivial now. if this guy hadn't raised, I guess we would have had to call because it's only €2 to win like €1,000,000. But yeah, it is what it is. I wouldn't be shocked to see that guy have sets or 6-8 exclusively. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. I hope you have enjoyed what you see. Let's just have a quick look. So we definitely have had 2 profitable videos, which is always nice. As I said, any questions, queries, comments, fire them my way, and I will chat to you all soon. Have a great evening. Good night, guys. Take care.